yesterday before we read Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? What did we talk about? Beckham, please. Lucas, can you scooch over a little bit for us? All right, class, another thing. Remember yesterday I asked us when we're answering questions to answer loudly so all of us can hear? All right, Callie, what did we talk about yesterday?
We've been talking about weather.
We've been talking about weather.
We've been talking about author's purpose.
Good job. We've been talking about author's purpose. Penelope, turn around, please.
I did not hit her and she's saying
It's okay. Turn around. It's all right. I'll watch. All right. Did everybody hear what Jackson said? What have we been talking about?
Author's purpose.
Author's purpose. Okay. So today we are going to talk about author's purpose. One of the author's purpose is to inform. So informing. So listen up. When we're looking for informing text, so say the author is trying to give you information and teach you facts. So when you're reading a book that's giving you information and teaching you facts, I want you to look for, did the author give you facts? So if the author gave you facts, it's probably an informing text. Yes, can you go take a seat in your spot, please? No, when we're done.
Jeffrey's messing with iPads.
That's right, Jackson. Okay, and then I also want you to think, is the author teaching you something? Jude, voice is off, please. Is the author teaching you something? Great. And normally an informing book is nonfiction. Who can raise your hand and tell me what nonfiction means? Wait, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Beckham, say it loudly.
Nonfiction is not fake. Like, nonfiction is fake.
Nonfiction. Nonfiction. Emily, what is it?
Nonfiction is not fake.
Nonfiction is not fake. It's the fiction that was the fake. That's what we did yesterday. All right. And then it's like history and science books. So a lot of those are going to be informing. And news articles. So if you read a news article, that's going to be an informing text. Jeffrey, I need you to put that down, please. Jeffrey, can you head back to your seat, please, at the other table for me? Jeffrey.
He's fixing. Yeah, it was like this.
Voices off, please. All right, can you head back to your seat at the table for me? Thank you. All right, so we are going to talk about informing. The author's purpose is to inform today. We are going to talk about informing, okay? When you're answering questions later in group and you raise your hand, I want you to use the author's purpose is to, and then if you think it's inform, you can say inform. And if you think it's entertain, you can say entertain.
What is it? Jeffrey just looking at.
It's okay.
What is it for?
Take a seat. Eyes on me. Inform is to give you information, give you facts. So informing, giving you information, giving you facts. All right. Today, while I'm reading, if I'm reading something and you think it's a fact, I want you to put your finger to your head just for a second, just so I can see that I know you're thinking it's a fact, okay? All right, and by the end of today, we're going to be able to tell when the author is writing to inform us. Okay, so first I'm going to read floods, and I'm going to show you how to look through a text and see if you think it's an informing text. The book is called Floods. Great. Another thing you can look for in informing text are like tables of contents, which are like this. This is a table of contents, so you can look through a book, see if it has a table of contents. Hold on, Oslo. And then you can also look, some of them are going to have a glossary. A glossary gives you a word and then gives you the definition for the word. So informing texts sometimes have glossaries. And an index, just telling you what page certain things are on. So you can look for those too. Oslo, do you have a question?
Like the story?
I'm going to get to that. Oslo?
I have a question. My dad knows the table of contents, and this one always going to have a table of contents.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on, Callie. I'll ask you in a second. All right. So what is a flood? The city is flooded. Water is everywhere. A flood is water covering places that are usually dry. What makes a flood happen?
No.
Good job. I see some people using their fingers. River floods. A river can cause a flood. Think of your bathtub. It can hold only so much water. If you add more, water flows over the sides. Like bathtubs, rivers can only hold so much water. When a river gets more water than it can hold, it flows over its banks. Alright, too much rain can cause a river to overflow. The ground cannot soak up all the rain. The extra rainwater flows down to a river. But the river can't hold all the extra water. The water flows over the banks.
Banks.
Banks are the sides of the river.
In Spanish?
Nope, in English. In snowy areas, the weather can warm up quickly in the spring. Then the snow melts fast. It turns into water. The water runs downhill. So much water at one time makes rivers overflow. Houses on the floodplain get flooded. And you see here that floodplain is in bold. So then that tells you that it's back here in the glossary. So you could go back to the glossary and find the definition for floodplain. It says the flat area along the side of a river that gets covered by water when the river overflows. So that's also something you can look for in informing text. In cold areas, rivers freeze in the winter. In spring, the ice breaks into huge chunks as it melts. The chunks float down the river. Okay, so I'm going to stop there with this book. So I think that this book was giving me lots of facts and information. So one of the facts was that too much rain can cause a river to overflow. It's informing me that if there's too much rain, the river will just overflow. It tells you that a river can't hold all the extra water. It says, it gives you a fact that rivers can only hold so much water. So it's informing you that rivers can only hold a certain amount of water before they overflow. And then when I looked in this book, like I said earlier, there was a glossary, there was a table of contents. A lot of these pictures in here are real photos. Real photos. Yep. I think all of these are real. Most of the pictures in informing text are going to be real pictures. They're going to be real. They're going to go with the non-fiction. Okay, so I think the author was giving me facts and information. So I would say this was an informing text. Would you guys agree? Yeah? Okay, so now this time you guys are...
Read the whole book of that?
Yes, we're going to read this whole book. You guys are going to be the experts. I want you to put your thinking caps on. Listen for those facts. Listen to see if the author is informing you of something. He wants to tell you something, giving you information. We can look and see if there's a glossary, maybe an index.
What is it called?
I'm going to tell you in a second. And then we'll talk about it at the end. But for right now, listen and see what you think. This is called weather.
I like the rainbow picture. I like
this one, weather. All right, so it starts with the table of contents and tells us where things are. It says rain or shine. The weather can be sunny, rainy, windy, or snowy.